Welcome to Michigan International Speedway, the site of tonight's recruitment race for Speed Racing Network Season 7. This is the fourth one of our off season as we prepare for Season 7 to start here in just about 2 months. Jonathan Byer, your president, here with you tonight. Drake Carty as well, a driver we look to having in the field here in Season 7. So Drake, welcome tonight. A little bit about this race. We have 40 laps on tap here at Michigan in the NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. Everybody gets a set of tires, a fast repair in the pits if they choose to use that. And if they get 20 incident points, unfortunately their night will be over. So that's just the ground rules for tonight. Everything else is going to work exactly the same as it usually does in Speed Racing Network events. No stage break or anything like that in this event. The winner of tonight's race does get a free race entry for Season 7, so that's a $10 winnings they get from winning this recruitment race. We got a mix of drivers out here tonight, some returners from last season, and a few new faces, and we'll see if they want to add themselves to Speed Racing Network Season 7. A few more details. If you are looking at joining a Speed Racing Network, you can find out more information on speedracingnetwork.com. Right there on the homepage is the link to our series Discord. That's ultimately the best place to go to find any relevant information you need. With that, registration will open on August 9th, so we look forward to getting that underway. And I think that's about it. So the field's lining up. It looks like we have about 9 vehicles here tonight. Again, a mix of returners and a mix of new. We had a great race last night in the trucks. That is available for replay on our Speed Racing Network YouTube channel if you'd like to go back and watch that. So, Drake, welcome to the booth. I understand this is your first broadcast, so welcome. Absolutely. And I think we're going to have a pretty good evening this evening. Alright, so the field in the hands of Sean Corcoran. He is going to lead us to the green flag, it looks like, here. Sean, one of our drivers from the truck series last season, so we're familiar with him. Base car is going to pull away to the safety of pit road, and we're going to get started here for 40 laps here at Michigan.
Green flag, green flag.
Looks like he got a little bump from the car behind him off the start.
Yeah, and we saw that last night too in the truck. If the guy second line gave you a good shot, that was really, really, really helpful. And so we'll see if that plays out the same here. Obviously, the trucks and the Xfinity cars, two completely different animals here in service. They don't drive near the same, but there are some things that you can carry over from both. Speaking of carrying over from both, as Jacob goes to the lead here, we are allowing drivers, if they want to, they can run both the truck and the Xfinity League next season. They can register for both. So if you want a Tuesday and Wednesday night league to add to your iRacing schedule on a weekly basis, you're more than welcome to do both. You just have to fill out that registration form once for each series.
That looks like it's doing pretty good up there on 3 and 4.
Yeah, you see, these Xfinity cars definitely using more of the track than we saw the trucks last night. The trucks were kind of really stuck to either that middle lane or the very high lane. You saw basically 4 different lanes being used right there in that last corner. Oh, Jacob's getting loose. And he's going to get in the wall. I think that's Bobby Anderson as well that got a piece of that.
Yeah.
Bobby's going to need that fast repair for sure.
That's unfortunate. You had nothing you could do there.
I'll go back and take a look here. Bottom of your screen, yeah, you see Jacob just steps out by himself. Ooh, that's a hard hit for Bobby there. May have been some netcode contact, possibly. Yeah, it's tough to tell. I think there may have been, because if you kind of look there on the recoil, when Jacob's car swung back around, it netcode contacted with the 89 car again. If you kind of watch here on the screen, you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes back. Maybe like some ghost-looking contact there. Falls behind the scoring pylon, but
Yeah. I have to agree with you there.
yeah, and we saw that in the truck race last night here too. This track, yeah, you see him because he wasn't necessarily fighting loose with the wheel. all of a sudden it was going left. If you see a driver really fighting loose on that wheel, you see him pretty much turn to the right the whole time. This is going to be a rough angle here, riding along with Bobby. Just nowhere to go. Didn't even have any indication that that was going to happen. It was an unfortunate start for him to this event.
And once you start counter steering, there's nothing you can really do. Just hold on.
Yep. He got towed back to the pits. Does have a faster pair. Will probably lose a lap though with the time it takes to tow. Jacob was able to drive back, so he's going to use his faster pair. You saw it right there, and be right back into play. So rough start for those two, but yeah, we saw netcode contact cause a couple incidents yesterday evening, and unfortunately that's just a product of Michigan here on the service. There are tracks that have really no netcode zones at all, and then some that seems like a majority of the track is. So with that, we're going to step away for here just a second. We're going to periodically through the night show you some messages from some of our reoccurring and new partners here at Speed Racing Network, and we'll go ahead and get that started right now for you. Back here live with you from Michigan. We would like to thank Premier Racing Setups for joining us here for Season 7, their first season with us. You'll see their messages periodically over the course of the race via their commercials, and then you'll also see their logo in the top right of the screen all season long. Make sure you check them out for all your setup needs. We're a fixed setup series here, but a lot of our drivers do run other open leagues. And then we do have a lot of the teams that run multiple leagues as well. They choose to run some open events. And so I know we'll be sending setup work their way for all of that. And then most recently, in case you missed it, we had a memorial race here on Speed Racing Network a couple weeks ago. That was an open setup event, which was really, really cool. We had a lot of good drivers with the likeness of Conti in here. And so if you missed that race, go back and watch that. It was for a really good cause and turned out to be an incredible race. With the trucks at Homestead. So that is available on our YouTube channel as well, if you'd like to go check that out. So, long pace laps here. Gives us chances to send messages out, but also gives us a chance to talk a little bit about the upcoming season. So, if we get another caution, we'll flash the schedule there that we released on Monday up on the screen for you guys to take a look at. I hope we don't get another one, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to come back to complete lap number 5, so we'll restart here on lap 6 of 40. If we do need it tonight, we will go to 3 green, white checkers. We only needed one of those last night, but a little shorter field here today, so I don't think we're going to see maybe that this evening, but I guess you never know. Alright, pace car's pulling away. Austin DeLong has the field under his control. We're gonna get
see if he gets that. See if he gets that bump from the car behind to help get the lead.
Yeah, you kind of saw him kind of lag back to him. Allows the 33 to get right in line. Maybe choreographed there. I know Austin DeLong, Sean Corcoran, those are guys that have worked together in the past on teams. So maybe a little bit of communication there. That never hurts. Sean out to a pretty clear lead, and Jacob is not messing around. He wants his way back up there. He's dicing through it back here.
Yeah, you got a good exit out of 2. He's gonna make his way up into 2nd coming up here.
Right on that yellow line in the corner. You know, this is kind of a progressively banked racetrack. That bottom line does have slightly less as far as banking goes, and so maybe not be the quickest way around, but if on fresh tires, you know, you can kind of keep that clean air on your nose and really make some hay down there if you know what you're doing. Now you see him just in the middle of the track, and he's on a move. He's on a mission. Probably.
Hey, it looks like he's got one and two down.
I would assume maybe took tires there. I mean, he went for a pretty good slide, so I'd imagine that he did get those tires. And I know it was only a couple laps, but you know, every lap you do put on tires does make a difference. So maybe just that little bit of edge. I know Jacob's a pretty quick driver as is, so he's got that going for him. But You know, 4-lap tire advantage wouldn't hurt him either.
Yeah, of course, and it also helps him off the start too with the fresh rubber, getting the advantage off of everyone else.
And, you know, these Xfinity cars, not as momentum based as the trucks, but you still have to do a good job keeping your momentum up on corner exit. That's what we've seen Jacob do a really good job, especially off of 2. But the key here is the front stretch is so long because of the curve in it that exit to turn 4 means a lot. You think of it a lot like exit to turn 3 at Pocono, right? That front stretch. Oh, contact!
Oh, contact!
Oh, he sends the 33 to the inside.
He keeps it going though.
33 through the grass, avoids the inside wall. That's nice work. That was that could have been pretty bad.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna stay green here. Looks like Austin just got past Jacob.
Go back and take a look at it here. Net code for sure. Might have made contact anyway, but that car is hopping and skipping and jumping. But you see the flames coming out of the tailpipe. He never stopped driving that thing when he got to the inside wall. One more time, we'll take a look. And yeah, net code, but I think there would have been contact there either way. But you know what? Avoided any issue, and now he's just going to be hoping for a caution, but the battle's back up front. What we were saying there before that chaos ensued was the front stretch to Pocono is the longest on any NASCAR circuit. And if you don't get a good exit out of turn 3, you can give up multiple spots. And so it's kind of what you have to think about coming out of turn 4 here. Is kind of approaching it the same way. You see Bobby back there in the 18. He did indeed lose 1 lap on that toe. So in the event of a caution, he would get back on the lead lap, but obviously still have some pace there. Got his fast repair. That car looks pretty hooked up. Might try to get his lap back the hard way. This pack of 4 cars here, which includes the lap down machine of Bobby Anderson, is in control right now. A little bit of gap back to the 43 and 8. Sean Corcoran, Dylan Godinez. We saw Dylan have a really good run last night's race, trucks, and I think he's run all of our recruitment races so far. And, he's had good pace in all of them. He is bringing teams to both our truck and Xfinity series for Season 7, DG Motorsports. So keep an eye out for them. He does a great job promoting the team and promoting sponsors. Does a really good job with that. See Jacob, he's kind of just following the 22's tire tracks. The 22's just kind of running a line that makes it a little harder for him to pass. It's allowed the 9 to get up in there a little bit. Jacob's just searching right now. 9's going to drift up the track a little bit, get loose.
Oh.
Probably some contact there with Jacob, but they all keep it pointed the right direction. They had the recipe to kind of be a disaster, but they avoided it, and I'm surprised with the net code we've seen that we didn't see worse there. 9 slides right up in front of Jacob. Jacob going to go do with the crossover. Obviously not going to have the draft of Austin DeLong to help. Make a little bit of difference as we get into 1. That's what I love about this racetrack, though. They can get to the corner and just fan out. They got whatever option they want. Keep clean air on the nose. It's what you like to see in a racetrack. A lot of characteristics makes it pretty racy. Now Bobby is kind of giving way to these front 3. Again, doesn't really want to get entangled in anything because he's just a caution away from getting that lap back, and will obviously have to not be in the incident to do so. The 33 car, which we saw take that wild ride through the grass, actually is running some pretty quick times right now. About on par with the leaders. He's just stuck about 6 seconds back because of that trip through the grass. Back now with these front two, just kind of not leaving each other alone.
Jacob's got a good run out of 4.
Yeah, that was that good exit we were talking about. We look for, and you just see on this long straightaway how that makes a big difference. I mean, he's able to clear him getting in. We'll see if he can maintain that through the corner. Good middle of the corner there. Yeah, that's going to give Jacob plenty of room. Not going to have a lot of momentum off, but I think he's going to be okay here. Yep, clear to the lead. That was a really good 1 and 2. And you said it, Drake. He had that corner figured out all along. Just needed to get that good run off of 4.
Oh, yeah. Now he's getting that clean air, and he can start to release the tires like he could.
Jacob clear to the lead. Austin DeLong falls in second. Brian Beach in third. A new face to Speed Racing Network. And if you are watching us here this evening, make sure you subscribe to Speed Racing Network. Don't miss a second of the action. This is just the beginning of a pretty wild season we're going to have, I assume. I can only imagine what what we're going to see in the upcoming season. There's always things we plan to see, and then we get the craziest options out there. But then on the flip side, you know, last year, and there were some struggles in the season, some races that weren't that pretty in the middle, but the truck playoffs in season 6 were some pretty good racing, and so if that carries over into this season, it's going to be a pretty good show. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a second of that action. You also won't miss any of our one-off events that we're going to start hosting more of in the coming months. We love doing the charity events and charity racing, and we're tied in with a group now that does quite a bit of that, so be looking forward to that stuff. And if you want to participate in any of those races, participate in our league races or anything like that, SpeedRacingNetwork.com is a good place to go. You can access everything you need there, including the link that goes to our general Discord server where all this is taking place tonight. So Jacob cleared to the lead, but I mean the top 3 still within half a second. You know, they're not really leaving each other alone. And I've been watching the lap time deltas. And the last lap, you know, Jacob ran a 4.43, Austin ran a 4.46, and Brian ran a 5.6. So, you know, all within a tenth of a lap time between all 3 of those guys, and that's just going to be a recipe to keep them together. Even the people a little bit outside of that big draft, like Sean Corcoran and Dylan Modinez, they're still running just only about a half a tenth off. You see him there on the backside of the screen right behind Bobby. So they might be trying to save a little bit. Jacob, gets the wall a little bit there out of 2.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to lose 2 positions here.
Yeah, it's that momentum we talked about. You break that momentum, and I don't see any damage on that machine. I think he's going to be okay. You heard him lift there, so I don't think he got in it too bad. We'll see when he comes around here. You see right above that right front tire. A little bit of damage, but obviously that hasn't knocked a little bit of pace out of this car because he's catching right back up with these guys.
Yeah, going back to what you said though, tire saving is going to be crucial in this race. So don't count out anyone from this race. They could just be playing it smart.
Yeah, that's one thing we haven't really discussed yet, mainly because last night's race we just had a lot of cautions. And so we didn't really see a lot of that tire saving or green flag run come out or anything like that. But, you know, if this kind of has that green feeling to it, I'm not 100% what they can do on fuel mileage. I want to say that they would have to stop if even Jacob, who pitted there 5 laps in, I think they would still have to make a pit stop. So that might be something that plays in. But that also makes me think, Dylan and Sean, those guys sitting back a little bit, you know, does that, are they playing into that strategy maybe where they're not planning on stopping that? I'm not sure.
Well, Sean was the guy on pole today, so he definitely has pace in the car. So
yeah. Dan Park in the comments, he said he can't wait for the next season. Dan, we can't wait either. Glad to have you and your brother back in the Bird Dog Racing team. Bird Dog Racing came away with top 3 finish in the team standings for the trucks last year, as well as the Truck Series Championship with Ben Morrow. So they obviously have to come back and defend. So we're looking forward to having them join us as well. So I agree with you, Dan. We can't wait either. We're excited, and getting the schedule out this week was huge. It's like the first step into what is season 7, and so glad to share that with everybody. So Jacob's still hanging there. Maybe the last couple lap times been slightly off of where he was. So that right front damage might be causing the car maybe to tighten up a little bit. Obviously, with a big track like this, aero does make a difference. These top 2 have created a slight degree of separation, but Jacob's still within striking distance if these 2 get tangled up. Dan Park also brings up a good point in the comments. He won the Tier 2 championship. That is true. We have a thing where all the drivers who are full-time that do not make the playoffs get entered in a Tier 2 championship. Basically, the top points earner of a non-playoff driver in the playoffs wins a prize. His was a framed canvas print of his truck, which he received, and it was super cool. Awesome to send to him, and we love giving out those random prizes for all that good stuff. So you're right, Dan. You did come home away with that. So Bird Dog has 3 different things they could have to come and defend. Top 3 have tightened up a little bit here now over the last 2 laps. Dylan and Sean still hanging out back there. Far enough back to stay out of the trouble if these guys start tangling for the lead, but not really close enough to, I think, make a run at it if this stays green, unless these guys just start battling and it slows them up. Because you saw what happened when a car breaks momentum, like when Jacob got in the wall a little bit off it too.
Yeah, Austin's doing a great job keeping the lead and keeping that gap a second.
Yeah, and also, keeping it clean too, right? Not doing what Jacob did. He was right behind Jacob when he saw him get in the wall, and maybe he's told himself, I'm not going to do that. Because that, you don't want to take yourself out of it ever as a driver. We have a pretty good battle here, the top spot.
Yeah, I might have jinxed Austin here.
Obviously Brian beats somebody we're not really familiar with. So we don't really know his style. If he's a little bit more on that save late charge strategy, he's definitely picked the pace up here the last couple laps. I just think it's going to be super hard to pass Austin without getting to his right rear. We saw that last night. Anybody that tried to make the pass on the inside, either the guy on top would pinch, which kind of creates an uncomfortable situation because there inevitably is going to be some contact. But the momentum on the high side, it just makes it super tough with these long front and backstretch segments. So I would have to think he's going to have to find maybe a creative way to get to his right rear. Has a pretty good run to the inside here. Might try to slide up on him. Just don't think he's going to have enough here in 1 and 2. Doesn't look like it. Oh! Wow, that was almost some big contact. Jacob gets the wall a little bit again. Brian does hang on to it. There you see, slides right back in line. So Brian gives up some time there with that big slide, but could have been much worse. And probably got out of the gas right there, and that's a very respectful move. He could have shoved Austin in the wall and said, "You're coming with me," but made the right move, backed out of it, lost a spot, but you know what? With 13 to go, he keeps himself in the race. But I'm watching the 43 back there. You talked about Sean.
Yeah.
He had that pace, right? Qualified on the pole.
Yeah.
I think was second in practice. Ran some pretty good times. He's slowly creeping.
Coming.
Yeah, he's creeping up on these
coming.
guys.
He's making it interesting at the end here.
We kind of look at the back part of this group, and we look at the lap times between Brian Beach, Sean Corcoran. There you go. So just under a tenth and a quarter, 2/10, and then half a second that last lap difference. We'll see what it is coming across the line this time. Brian's probably a pretty good indication of the lap times these top 3 are running. About even that last lap, so Sean didn't really gain much there. Sean is now getting into the dirty air, though, the wake of these cars in front of him, so the gain's going to be a little bit less, but the draft will help him stay kind of connected. But I think Sean saved a little bit of tire here. I think he saved something for these guys.
Oh, yeah.
These top three still sticking together. Brian gives it another go. I think Jacob getting into the wall is just kind of taking a little bit of top-end pace off that car because we just haven't seen him charge back up and try to battle for the lead since. It looks like lap times now with Sean have about leveled off. But I think now for sure he's much more within striking distance than he was before.
Yeah, and like you said, he's in that draft, so he could just be chilling now and waiting for his time to move.
And 10 laps is still a lot of time here. Over a 2-mile racetrack. I mean, you got a lot of time to kind of sit back. And he could also be thinking, I've seen these guys kind of lean on each other a little bit. I don't necessarily want to get up in there and then be part of the calamity. So he might just be trying to count his cards and play it patient right now, but then probably maybe flip a switch with 3 or 4 to go when he knows he's got to go. Kind of thinking of it in a super speedway strategy way, almost.
Yeah, he's getting a lot on that corner there. On entry, he's losing it now on exit.
Yeah, he got the wall there off of 2. You see the damage to the right front. Just same thing that happened to Jacob. And we'll see the damage right there. Ooh, a little bit more considerable than how Jacob got in the wall, because it looks like a little bit more damage on the door as well as the front. We'll see how his lap times settle out. Lost about a second on the delta just from the wall. We'll see if that continues to grow, and that'll kind of indicate that damage. We'll keep an eye on the lap times. Back up to the front 3, though. Jacob and Brian are battling pretty good here for second, right behind Austin. Brian's now cleared a second, and we saw the pace he had before that big slide. I think he's going to give Austin a little bit of mirrorful here before it's all said and done.
Yeah, he chooses the lower middle line here. See how that works out for him out of 4. At this point in the race, I do think it will make it. These cars can make it to the end.
Yeah, I think what separated it was those caution laps. I think that caution gave them just enough to be able to finish this event. But tightening up front here for sure.
So Jacob does have the advantage because he pitted. He's the only one that pitted on the top 3. So he's on the newer sets of tires. I think you said 4-lap newers.
Yeah, Jacob does have that advantage for sure. Again, I think that right side damage is just hurting him enough. We'll see what kind of tricks Brian has up his sleeve. Meanwhile, the 43, Sean Corcoran, that damage really did hurt that automobile. He's fallen now 3 seconds back from where he was running since the damage, and now getting passed by Dylan Godinez.
Speaking of pass, it looks like Brian just got by or alongside Austin now.
He's alongside of him. We saw him in this position before. He's gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be tight off the corner. He cleared him.
He cleared him, but now Austin's got the.
Austin's not going to try the crossover. I think that might be a smart move because I think it's just, unless you have a perfect run coming out of the corner before, it's hard to set up that inside move. And if you're not sure that inside move is going to work, the last thing you want to do is sit on somebody's inside door and wear your stuff out for a couple laps and then lose another spot and keep going back. So I think right now he's going to kind of re-rack here, 4 to go. And try to find a way. Like I said, you get to the right rear of that car in front of you, that's your best chance to pass and pass quickly. So maybe sits here for a couple laps, cools the tires down a little bit, stays within striking distance, and then maybe tries some last-ditch effort in the last lap. He's definitely close enough that as long as he kind of keeps it right there, any little mistake here out of the 9 um, would cause issues for him. I do like what he's doing there, sticking that nose just to the inside there, getting that clean air. But they're able to still use that draft on the straightaway. You see the 9 now snaking, trying to break that draft. Something we saw out of all the NASCAR races this last weekend at Indianapolis. Same effect, those long straightaways, that little draft you can pick up makes a big difference. Austin trying the inside there, but he's just not going to be able to quite make that work. Going to have to try to either find a way to drive it a lot deeper, hold the old slide job, or try to get to that right rear.
Yeah, this is the best part of the race for me, I think. Last 2 laps to go. This is going to be interesting here. See if Austin has anything to show.
Gave up a little bit of time that lap, but could be just trying to set something up. He looks like he had a pretty good run there out of 4, so he's going to gain some time back here. He's going to have a good 1 and 2, I think, to even have a shot here. Drives it in real deep to 1 and 2.
Now he's going to get that draft down the straightaway.
These Xfinity cars, you can still pack some air. You can still.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Jacob got in the wall again back there.
Austin
Oh, to the right rear. Got to his right rear. I think that's going to be the ticket. Just wasn't able to drive it in as deep, but he's definitely going to have a pretty good run off the corner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
One more lap to settle it. Again, winner free race entry towards Season 7. That's a $10 value. Every little bit helps. Ooh, I like it in, driving it up top there.
Yeah.
Driving it on the top. I just don't think he's going to be able to get his right rear, but might be able to set something up getting into 3. Be the last effort, see if he goes top or bottom.
Here we go into turn 3 here.
Goes top. Oh, I just don't think it's going to be enough. If the 9 has a good exit, I think this race is his. Impressive drive. Brian Beach, new to Speed Racing Network, first a recruitment race this offseason. He wins our recruitment race number 4 here at Michigan. Top 3 stayed the top 3. Sean Corcoran did fall down to 5th. And then Adam Wilson, one of our new registrants for this upcoming season. He comes home in 6th after that crazy slide through the grass. And then old familiar foe, Bobby Anderson, had to tow after that crazy incident early. He finishes 7th. And the other 2, well, one of them includes you, Dustin Sluter didn't start the race. So, all in all, short field, but a pretty clean, quick race. We saw some good battles. And I know at least 6 out of the 7 cars we had on track here tonight are racing next season. So, that's a good preview on what there is to come, I believe.
Yeah, that was a very good race. A lot of battling with the top 5. I like the different runs. You can go outside or inside and the run down the straightaway and get in the draft. So, very interesting race here.
And Michigan is on our schedule for the upcoming season. And I said I'd show it to you. We never got a caution to do so, but here it is. Truck schedule on your left, Xfinity schedule on your right. It includes lap distances and time of day. So screenshot that if you want to keep that for right now, but it's available on the homepage of speedracingnetwork.com and then all of our social media accounts. You see Michigan right there. It's one of our playoff races. For both the truck and the Xfinity series, it is the middle of the second round of the playoffs. And so that multi-lane racing that we saw there, that's going to be a playoff race next season. That'll take place late March for both series. So Speed Racing Network, we are a money league. It's $10 a week to race, but the champion does get $500 at the end of the season. The top 15 points finishers get paid out. The top 5 racers in finish in each race get paid out. It adds to almost $5,000 in total prizes over the course of the season. So always a little bit of chance to earn a little bit of cash, but ultimately have a good time. And that's what we're trying to get back to, and that's why we've created our motto for Season 7, Race Your Way. Try to give everybody that good league racing experience they deserve, but also, a little bit of skin in the game too to go around. So we're looking forward to it. There's your schedule again on your screen. If you'd like to see more detail on it, you can go to speedracingnetwork.com. All the information is available there, like I said before, as well as the Discord um, invite link, which is ultimately your best place to go for everything. Registration does open on August 9th. Um, that'll be available on our website once that goes live, if you have not located it already. Some people have figured out how to get around to that. Our rulebook walkthrough on the bottom of your screen, you see it there, July 28th. That's this Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll walk top to bottom to the rulebook on this YouTube channel here and answer any questions anybody has after, and make sure that we are all buttoned up before we get started. So then again, learn more about Speed Racing Network. SpeedRacingNetwork.com is your place to go. Well, Drake, we had a pretty good race here tonight. I know that you're running in the trucks, I believe, for next season. So, what are you looking forward to about this upcoming season?
Yeah, I participated in the short track season that you did, and I really enjoyed that. That was my first race in the SRN series, and I'm excited for the upcoming truck series because this will be my first season. Um, I did a race last week at Charlotte, so I got a little taste to see what's coming. Really enjoying it. I'm excited for all the battles and developing my skills as a truck driver because haven't have much experience as a truck in the truck. So I'm excited to see how that goes and how much I can learn during the season from all the other really good drivers here.
Yeah, we really enjoyed having that little short track series in the KSP Performance Series. Definitely something we're gonna try again, because we have a lot of short track racers here in our Speed Racing Network community, and obviously we want to continue to reach more people. And so we're definitely going to hit those cars and tracks again. We're also developing a bunch of other little short series that could make an appearance. I know we've had the discussion of adding a few things road maybe in the future. There's also further along discussions about a Gen 4 Winston Cup style series coming as well, maybe early 2025. So a lot of cool things around here to run. Uh, we'd love you to be part of our community. Even if you don't choose to run in one of our series here at Speed Racing Network, feel free to join our Discord and join our community, because we love putting out random races. And we talked a little bit earlier about those charity events and things like that. We had multiple Speed Racing Network series drivers from last season show up to those events and show their support. So that's incredible. We love doing that work as well. Well, we used tonight's broadcast as a little bit of test for some new settings and all that goes into that, as well as getting Drake your first broadcast booth experience. So, all the feedback we can get on these test broadcasts for our recruitment races are appreciated. So, you can email info@speedracingnetwork.com. Your thoughts on the broadcast or on the league as a whole. You could also leave a comment for us as well. We'll go back and look at those and see what we need to make as far as adjustments to the broadcast before we fire away to the upcoming season. So on behalf of myself, Jonathan Byer, the president here at Speed Racing Network, and Drake Carty, we appreciate you for watching tonight. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week for our recruitment races at Kansas.